Uh-oh, we don't have any hot water. Hi, it's Jerry with ilovervlife, and we have no hot water using our 120 volts campground power. We can flip the switch. I'll show you in just a second. We can flip the switch over to propane, and we have plenty of hot water. This is a Suburban. The model number is a 5248A. It's also, you can find it as a SW-Del-C. It's the large 12-gallon water heater. Now, this water heater, at least from our ownership, is only 18 months old, and something's gone awry. It's just happened. Fortunately, this is a very, very common water heater. Very common. You see it in a lot of your larger RVs that require 12 gallons of hot water. We love it. We never run out of hot water when we take a shower. And there's parts availability, there's those types of things. So this water heater being so new, I don't think it's going to be something catastrophic. We've done the common things. Number one, and I've done this before, the switch wasn't on. I've done that too many times and taken a cold shower as a result of that. So to make sure that the 120 volt switch is turned on. Number two, checking the circuit breaker, making sure that some lightning event didn't cause the breaker to trip. And both of those were the easiest things to be able to make sure we had 120 volt hot water. Neither one of those helped. So we've got to go outside, we've got to diagnose the problem. The easy thing about it is some very, very basic tools and a digital voltmeter, and you can go out here and do what needs to be done. Now, the most important thing, make sure all voltages are off. So again, going back up here to the control panel, make sure both the 120 volt switch and the 12 volt switch is off to the unit. That should be all that you have to do. And if you're still uncomfortable with the 120 volts, just make sure you hit the circuit breaker. You can flip that switch as well. And then that way you're guaranteed you're not going to have any voltage coming to the unit. All right, let's head outside. Let's diagnose the problem. I got a feeling we're going to have to order some parts. Going outside, this is the water heater here. This won't take me just a few minutes to do some diagnostic testing. And then again, I think we're going to have to order some parts. Again, we want to make sure that we've turned off the two switches inside, both the 12 volt and the 120 volt. That way we don't have to worry about either getting shocked, number one, or blowing fuses or circuit breakers. And then we're going to need a digital voltmeter, so we'll do a little extra testing on that as well. So let's get the cover off and see what's going on here. So I've got a few basic tools here to be able to use. I like to use nut drivers. You can pick these up just about anywhere. Usually one of the more obvious things that happens, there's typically 2 points of failure. There's a switch up top, which is located up here, and then there's the element. The element can burn in two. What typically happens if the element burns out, a lot of times it overcalcifies, overheats. That can cause a problem, or made a mistake and didn't make sure there was plenty of water in the water heater. And as a result of that, that's the element right here that you see. And there might be air around the element, and the element overheats and cracks, and that can be a failure as well. This is a digital voltmeter here. I've got I'll put right up here on the top if you don't know how to use one of these. I've got some really nice helpful guides on how to use one of these. I'm going to put it on AC, and then we're going to test, just in case there's something called stray voltage. I'm going to test and make sure we don't have any voltage here. We have no voltage here because I do not want to get shocked. Okay, no voltage. That's a good thing. Put that up here. I'm going to take, this is not, I mean, some of the folks will tell you in their guides you don't have to do this. I'm going to take one of the leads off. That way I'm 100% sure I'm not getting some kind of a false reading going back into the circuitry. The switch is turned off. I shouldn't have to do that. You just never know. And it's just a simple little step to remove two screws. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on ohms. I'm going to test again just to make sure that the voltmeter is reading. You see it almost goes, it does go to 0. and I'm going to test across the element here, and I should get something. Get that out of the way. I should get out of the way. I should get something that looks like, I don't know, 9 or 10 ohms. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.5 ohms. Okay, so at 10.5 ohms, this tells me this element is good, so I should not have any problems here. Up here is the switch, 12 volt switch, 120 volt switch. This is a reset that you have here. I've already pressed the resets. That didn't do any good. So, that being the case, I may have a problem up here. Let's see what's going on here. All right, here is the, these are where the, I call them safety switches or thermal switches are located. This one has a 12 volt, this has a 120 volt. Sometimes they trip. You push this button, hold it down, it resets them. I've tried that here on the 120 volt. It did not work. So there's something going on here with the switch, I suspect. We'll see. These little covers can be just a tad cantankerous to remove because they've got a bit of an edge to them and they seal. So you may have to just fight with this just a little bit. Sometimes you can get a fingernail behind it and pop them loose without too much trouble. This one's going to be a little aggravating. There we go. Oh, okay. We have had an event. Let's see if I can get a zoom up here. Look at this. That's the insulation on the switch here, and that's the insulation here. This thing has shorted to ground, or something has happened very substantial, and literally burnt the wiring. Wow. That is not cool at all. Ugh. So that being said, we definitely know we've got some kind of a switch issue going here. It doesn't take rocket science at this stage. I'm going to pull that guy off. There we go. Look at that. Not only did it burn that, it actually scorched the wire here. So I'm going to have to replace that. I don't know that I'm going to use this type of connector again. Wow. Okay. So let's just test this switch. I'll go ahead and I'm 99.99% sure this switch has gone south. So let's see what's going on here. All right, this switch, I'll put my meter here again on ohms, and if it was a good switch, as the 12 volt is here, I see a short. If you can see that, there's a short. I pull it off, it goes back to low, and I can go across this switch here, and as you'll see, it does not short. Not well. Something weird is going on here. I think that it may have reset. I'm not sure. It's showing some forms of reset. I don't trust it. One of two things has happened here. Either the switch has faulted, or looking at this wiring, it has maybe, I don't know, rubbed up against the metal here and maybe shorted out, or this connector wasn't put on good and tight. That could be an issue here. But I am going to suspect this switch is bad. I don't want to use it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and order this new switch. They're about $16, $17 off of Amazon. They're not expensive at all. And we'll just replace it. I think if I've gone through this much trouble, we'll do that. All right, good thing about Prime 2-Day. It only took me 2 days to be able to get this guy back in. So let's go ahead. I've already pulled everything back off again, so I don't have to show that on the video. And let's go ahead and replace the switch and repair that burnt wire connector. Because like I said, something's really gone south here. It could be a number of issues. Could be the switch that was bad, or a poor crimp on that connector. And a poor crimp will create heat, and heat will build up, and that could cause the problem as well. So we'll see if this fixes the problem. All right, the good news is it's not hard to get in here and work. I'll pull that little connector off right there. That is the good one. I'm thinking that this right here, I'm going to take some sandpaper and sand that down, or actually maybe bend it a little bit out of the way here. See if I can do that. And I got a feeling, yeah, I can bend that. I'm going to bend that down just in case that bad boy was rubbing and caused that to happen. I don't think that's the case. I still think it's a switch that's gone south on me. And there is a difference in switches. This is a 12-volt switch. You can actually look. See, this has got a thick bar. This has got a thin bar. There's actually two different types. I'll show you the numbers on these once I take them out. And it's pretty easy to replace these. It just unscrews like so. Pull that guy off. There you go. And they have a specific number on them, and the number on this one is an INT 22A. The big thing is it's a 2206. I'm not sure if it'll show up in the video here. It is a 2206, and that's the one that you need for this specific unit. Some of these will vary, and here's what my friends at Amazon sent us. This is it right here. 16 bucks with and a 2-day prime. You want to make sure this is good and tight because this is a thermal switch. This is the back side. This is the back side of the water heater. And you want to make sure this is good and tight because you need a thermal bond here. Without that thermal bond, this switch will not work properly. And if that switch does not trip, I think it's like 180 degrees, but don't hold me on that exactly. If it doesn't reach the temperature that requires this to trip, then this safety switch will blow and throw hot water out. So if you see that going on, either this guy right here, this thermal switch, has gone bad. I actually had that happen on our gateway. It went bad. Had to replace it. Wasn't a big deal. Or the switch has gone bad and it's allowing it to overheat. This switch or this switch, if you got it on propane, it'll cause that guy to blow. Okay, so that wasn't hard. And what we'll do now is we'll put this bad boy on right here. I know, I'm left-handed and I'm all in the view of the camera. I'll show you the finish when I get through here in a second. Make sure he's on good and tight. He is. Alright, we got to fix this before we do anything else. So let me get a different style connector here and maybe some heat shrink and see if I can fix this. Alright, I don't want to get inside this thing and have to pull the whole front panel off to rewire this. If I don't have to, I think I can salvage the wire. I hope. So we'll put some heat shrink on this. Just see what condition the wire is. I think the wire, hopefully it hasn't melted further. Oops. Very surprised the circuit breaker did not blow on this. Very, very surprised. Again, I'm thinking now at this stage that it rubbed up against this edge here. I'm going to bend that down some more. And I think just rub, doing the the vibration of the road, and then it was leaning up against that. The power came on and pop. And again, I don't trust that it didn't damage the switch. Alright, we're going to put just a little piece of heat shrink on here for just a tad of extra protection. There we go. See if we can make that fit. I do not want that to fall behind the water heater. That'll make it not a fun repair. There we go. There we go. That is close. No, 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 no. Okay. All right, I do not have any blue crimps, but I do have this guy here. I think this will work fine. There we go. All right, now we do the test, good and tight. And then I'm going to have to... Okay, there we go. Now what I've done again, this has got a bit of a very sharp edge, and I've just taken my pliers and bent this down and rounded it so there won't be any rubbing in the future. I'll make sure this is all good and tight now, and we'll get everything buttoned up here and see if we can get this thing going again. And I'll show you a little trick. These things have a little bit of adhesive on it, but this one's given and it's not behaving well anymore. You get you a little bit of super glue and just put you a couple drops back here. A little bit up here at the top, a little bit around the hole here, a little bit around the bottom, and then stick that guy back on there. And then you don't have to sit here and fight for hours trying to get that silly thing to line back up again. Super glue am a good thing. Alright, let's go turn the power on, see if we can get some hot water. Okay, so let's see, it's been an hour, and so here's the answer to the $16 question and an hour's worth of effort. Do I have hot water? And the answer is, he's waiting. Gotta clear the line. Come on. Yes. Oh boy, do we. We have hot water. Okay. So the moral to the story, things break in RVs. They just do. It's the law of the land. Things must break in an RV. I'm just kidding. It's just like owning a home. You're always going to have to do repairs on your home, repairs on your vehicle. Anything that moves, anything that's lived in is going to have issues. I really think what happened with this, when I looked at how the Suburban water heater was made, there was a jagged side of the metal where they cut the metal out where they put those sensors at, those hot water sensors. And I think probably over time or something like that, maybe the insulation got rubbed a little bit. Could have happened at the factory during installation. Who knows? It could have been just the little connector that was used was not crimped on tight enough. Or it could have been that device, this thermostat here, this guy here just completely failed. There's just too many factors. But $16 Amazon Prime, fix that. Oh goodness, maybe 10 minutes worth of diagnostics with a digital voltmeter, and then just a few minutes worth of effort. Probably the most difficult thing that I did on it was having to repair that wire, and I didn't have an angled connector, and just getting that done. That took just a little fidgeting to be able to get that done. But we have hot water again from shore power from the pedestal. Yay. Okay. This is things that we do. If we find things broke on I Love RV Life, we try to show you how to repair them. If you're not handy and you don't have the ability to be able to do these types of things, look, digital voltmeter. You can buy a cheap one, 20 to 30 bucks. I think mine was less than $30, Amazon. You can go out to I Love RV Life and go to the accessories page. You'll see the one that I own if you don't have one. How to use it is super, super simple. I've got a video on that. I put it up earlier, and it's just simple really to fix these things. I'm not trying to put the RV techs out of business. I love you guys. I appreciate what you do. I've had to use you on things that were outside of my skill set. But for basic things like this, it's just so simple to fix them. Spend $16 and 10-15 minutes of diagnostics, and you too can fix your suburban water heater. All right. I hope you found this helpful. I love doing these things and showing you how easy it is sometimes just to fix something that seems complicated, but it's really basic. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up. I'll do more as I find these types of things. I love doing them, but I love RV life more.